So good news, things are actually getting better. Just kidding. So as you know, the Houthis have been continuing to gain popularity by blocking Israeli shipping through the Red Sea and capturing a ship and then using it as a tourist destination and launching 2 more unmanned drones towards 2 more ships. With the United States now saying, all right, you're messing with our bottom line. It's time to put together a maritime task force to stop this. Because if there's one thing we've learned over the past 20 years, it's that United States interventionism in the Middle East totally works. And if there is any doubt in your mind that this was something other than a completely imperialist exercise, they're not even hiding it anymore, dude. They're just straight up calling it Operation Prosperity Guardian. And as you know, many Arab leaders are complicit within this same system. So they're going to be rendering assistance to the Maritime Task Force, and Iran is threatening vaguely to escalate the situation if the US and allies go into the Red Sea. Meanwhile, in Israel, there are mounting rumors of a hard deadline for the ground campaign in Gaza. Sorry, I meant genocide. The lack of progress against Hamas and mounting internal pressure to get the hostages back, the government is growing desperate. And they're dropping the shit out of southern Lebanon, antagonizing Hezbollah, which, you know, if they thought they were losing a lot of tanks to the homemade rockets of Hamas, they don't want the good stuff up north. And of course, Bibi has said extraordinary things like, if Hezbollah opens up a second front, we're going to turn Beirut into Gaza, which is something a totally reasonable human would say. Let's see, what else? Oh yeah, they're also threatening the Hashemite kings of Jordan's custodianship of the Al-Aqsa Mosque, which is, you know, just another great and totally necessary diplomatic move. And now the Israeli Minister of National Security says he wants to start executing 1 hostage from Hamas's prisoner exchange list every day until they get their own hostages back, because that's realistically what would happen. It's all just looking like one big boy Tempe tantrum, doesn't it? And the violence is only going to get worse as the ceasefire date draws near, because once a ceasefire happens, they know they won't have the political legitimacy at all to restart the violence again, and they're gonna have to pay the piper for everything that's happened, or at least some of it, and it will take some time. And the violence in these last days will continue to escalate, and the irrationality of the government will grow in one last desperate outburst of white rage, or Zionist rage. They're pretty much interchangeable at this point. And white rage is popularly defined as the operational function of white supremacy. It is the fear of a multicultural democracy, and it is predicated on a sense that only white Americans, or in this case Jewish Israelis, are legitimate democratic citizens. You always see it in the later stages of colonial projects when people start to realize that they're going to lose their privilege and there may be a reckoning. And the problem for us is that the United States government and the West in general seems hell-bent on supporting them no matter what they do and no matter what irrational they get into. Since we're talking about maritime stuff, they're like the cannonball chained around our ankles, dragging us down into the depths, losing all legitimacy, and they could potentially get us into some stupid. But hey, soon enough, all these silent generation and boomer politicians will die, and maybe we can finally stop doing things that we don't want to do, like be in the fucking Middle East. And I don't usually do news, but this was getting absurd, so follow if you want to hear about how the United States definition of terrorism directly targets liberation activists and fronts. Bye.